Hey, MikeRich.org or MikeRatner.com. This is just a quick interrupter because abruptly I'm on hold, and I figured this is a great opportunity to pick up and do a recording to what was on my mind, sort of capturing the instance. But at the same time, as people could come on, that would be abrupt. I have to go back. But the thing is, though, you see, there were people who were supposed to be on this particular call. It's like an early seed formation for the advisory board, right? The visionary board. But we need to have some core group of people who are really clued in. And they're talents in their own right. They're creatives. They could also be the executive type, but they've got it down, a certain skill and an ability to do whatever that they do that makes them masterful. In my world, the key approach to this is how we are present. It's a quality. And it's an endeavor because it's a practice of being present. That's it. Wow, key to the universe, practice being present. I get it. Yes, I hope you do. And it is a practice. So there could be some things that call into responsibility that precludes this moment, perhaps, because there are supposed to be some people who were sort of divine in the way that, whether they were gifted or I was gifted to have some kind of connection. And then there was an invitation. We say, hey, okay, there's something here. Let's put it together. Now, if you get invited to one of these calls, it's like being invited to sit in the inner circle. And the inner circle is really quite amazing because if you could sit among the masters and gurus as I have, now not to say in their own divine right that they would be something other than that, and perhaps you would be practicing something that would be really very astute as well. These individuals are really honed in on the practice of practicing and being present. And this practice was really quite profound. It was almost perfect to me. But yet they were always looking for clues inward to sort of how they could be better. And they were great. They were excellent already. Whoa. So this part of this piece of this divine puzzle, what we're divining, filtering, might be missing in some capacity or other than attended to. So it's not to say it's not there, but it hasn't properly been exercised where person number one expressed interest in something, but maybe came into a judgment or just simply distracted and forgot. But yet there would be sort of an era responsibility because the responsible person would have sent a note like, hey, I can't make it or I'll be late. That means either they forgot or they blew you off. It's not quite right when other people were invited on the call, perhaps expecting to hear from you, and you didn't show up, particularly because you forgot, and then you would represent yourself as a master. Well, maybe in some dimension, but we're talking about here and now. How we're present to people and to our world and circumstance. This is a great opportunity to sort of look inward and sort of get a sense of this dimension of how I am, right? I, particularly to you and what you envision. What are the quantity and quality of your TWA, right? TWA, the flight you take every day. TWA, your thoughts. You have some measure of your thoughts, mate? Have you thought about your thoughts? You're thinking the thoughts, but you're thinking like, what are the quality of those thoughts? The purpose of what I call an RTP, repeated thought pattern, just in and out, all day long, on and on and on and on and on. Doesn't get you anywhere. Keeps you right stuck in that formation. We're looking for more informed information, and only can come by observing. Krishnamurti said it wisely, perhaps the best. If we're going to have, or Gandhi talk about be, right, you be the change, Krishnamurti would say, well, the observer observed, which means that as you might be observing things which are good, in the sense that you are observing, we might be careful about how we're coming into judgment or how we fashion them, how we inform them, and then pass that disinformation on, pass down whatever stinking thinking we got, like a virus. And then other than those quality of the words, it's like kids are around, you talk like that. Wow. What are you saying? What are you talking about? This kind of attunement, this being attuned in, is the basis of my teaching. And I call it simply self-lib, self-liberation. It's going to be any type of liberation, particularly for this planet and upon humankind's consciousness being raised, right? Or actualized, as Abraham Maslow would say, the guy who created the pyramid, hierarchy of needs. The pinnacle peak is where we want to aim and go at. And we want to uplift as best we can and as quickly as possible. Because self-actualization in some element, if someone's completely informed in the sense that their whole brain balanced, this perspective would be pretty wide to be inclusive of everyone, including you. So you'd honor this invitation to come inward and to meet. Because truly self-liberation is the gateway out of hell. Let's get out of what was referred to, what I call the illusion of life. Begin to wake up to our own projections, or what's seen out there is really an internal observation that's come into some formation of judgment and projection, and other than observance of what is. So this would be other than informed, at least in the formation that we're talking about and practicing presence. And there's something about being pristine in this way. And what would it be for you that have some conscious awareness of one's thinking, the quality of their words and the way that they act, what are they actualizing? What are you actualizing? Now, it could be an intention and a premise that's something that's very positive and good. And have you checked in to see if others are on the same page, the same level, that they can get you, and in a sense, forward this work? Well, this is my challenge, right? In creating a self-liberation movement, the input of many great teachers and having been able to sit among the circle, I distilled from each and every one that I could, modeling an excellence that I could decipher, that I could divine and filter. And that was the quality of how they presented themselves. The present is the gift. And this practice of being present as a gift is really the gateway. Oh my gosh, there's anything to be said about this. You be the change. The formula is, in the constant evolution divine presence of this practice, which means that you are a representative of it, whatever it is for you. So I call it, some people say, I can't term it. Once you name it, you've sort of tried to package truth. Well, I don't know how to give it to you in the way that you could best accept whatever is important and relevant for you, that you value, that you can attune into. Because I think at that point, we're all tapping into the similar or same channel or source point. Because we all want happiness, health, and right? The sense that we could be secure in this endeavor, that we just have trust that this is right. And so, therefore, we live it. And we express it in our daily, ongoing existence. And this is a practice. And the first practice to be a little bit attuned and start with some posture and breath, checking on the shoulders and facial patterns. All right, just be at ease. Emptiness provides the way, really. I made a couple notes. And, if you remember at the beginning of this call, I was on a call. And it really shows how relevant these things are. Is anybody in the waiting room? Nope. It's just me. So, there's a lot going on in my world as far as projects, and I'm looking right now to really, really, in the heart of things, launch a self-liberation movement, something that we could just be in practice of being present with each other, that we hold a certain esteem and value that allows us to take things as they are, perhaps to the next level. An unfoldment of me getting to know you and you getting to better know me, we as a group, what I describe as a friendship fellowship. .com.org. Friendship fellowship really brings a bit more meaning and order and sensibility to the fact that we're friends, but now we kind of empower it. How can we take it to the next level? Because we have this cosmic connection. So can we do something as a community? Maybe have a community conversation, be of service, charitable in some way, that we take on a project or, sponsor something or contribute or work together in an endeavor, whether it's just coaching and support. It's well appreciated when you ask. So to be attuned and sort of present in this regard really is a certain quality. And if you're called and invited to join this inner circle, and by all measure, this is an amazing gift being offered to you. Now, oftentimes, there could have been a distraction in the past or something that would cause you to have missed an opportunity that later even to this day, you've totally regretted. But man, you wouldn't let this one pass you by, because this could be the invites of all invites. This is like, how could you miss the dinner party going to this? And you're going to be well regarded and held in high esteem just because you showed up. But you got to show up. You got to remember the invites. Put it on your calendar. Ask Alexa to remind you, or get an assistant, or just put it on the wall, because you wouldn't want to miss this. right? And whether you would join a friendship fellowship, a success club, or be part of the Mondays or self-liberation organization, there'd be some sense that, there'd be some contribution in the way that you would be willing to explore it a little bit more. And what's meant by this is that your endeavor here, without being or doing anything more, is really just, right, observing. And as one sort of sees things as they are, they're more free in the way that they can get out of judgment and the inhibition or limitation that held them back from the past. Because this is a new pasture, new grounds, new heights that can be scaled simply by being present. Because things begin to open up. And you might take these notes down in a journal format or check out the HypnoBeats project, mindhypnosis.org or fastnlp.com. These are all projects in the work, and hopefully by the time I've said them, there's some interest in someone who would say, hey, I'm checking out that website, or getting in touch in some capacity. So, if that interests you, maybe you can check out some of my other gigs and things that are happening, and appreciate you passing this along and saying, hey, there's something on here you got to check out. Because it would be nice to meet in this realm where a few of us can get together and we do form a community, at least a mastery circle, which we can support each other and study and maybe have group coaching support. Why not? Because this is invaluable, right? This would be the height of heights. It's, wow, there's an elevator or a fast track path to the top of that pyramid, the hierarchy of needs, getting out of survival and struggle and, barely making it mode and just consciously warp. It's like, hey, now you have it together and you're making a substantial contribution just in the way of your being and caring. That's what it's about. So what are you caring for? So it could be a bit of relief and stress, right, from things that sort of inhibit, have been in the past bothersome and, perhaps limiting. So we want to go to limitless. At least open the gateway, have a new pasture, a new foundation, new grounds that one can now visit. And in this regard, whether it would be a contemplation, meditation, guided spoken word thing, poetic in your mind, it just made sense. Yeah, this is the realization. This is where we need to go. Self-liberation is getting out of our own stories. And the ultimate goal, the legacy to pass along, you being really this example of change, this is excellent. This is you be, ultra being, an excellent example of enlightenment, as you know it to be, as you're able to represent it and practice it. This is the quality of being present. You be E3. It's ultra being present, ultra being attuned, caring, empty, right? But yet, it's everything, because E3 is to be an excellent example in the way that you practice your being, right? And demonstrating it here and now. This is enlightened practices. And you get to define enlightenment because we only know is what we know. And there could be another modeling of someone excellent in your family or history that you had sort of a great teacher or just someone you loved to be around. They were just so great, right? Not just in their own way of being, but the company that they kept. Is anybody like that? You? Yes? And this practice becomes the way, and it's a refinement. Maybe a long journey to get to pristine. But practice does make perfect, at least the alignment towards that objective. And as a goal, we all can connect as a golden rule and just sort of check in once in a while and participate on this level. This becomes really great and grandeur. All right, enough for now. I hope this intrigued you. The website plan is self-lib.org. Let's make it a self-liberation movement, some kind of organization or club, lodge, facility, gathering, sweat lodge, camping, whatever we can do, oceanfront resort, getaway, private golf club, baby. All right. This defining is a going towards paradise, right? The self-actualization unfolding is a realization of something that in its pristine state is really highly regarded and appreciated by this person, whether, I'm still on the path myself, I just observe and share what I come across, and hopefully it's of interest. And me about me, MikeRatner.com. Some link should be there. Otherwise, self-lib.org ought to be the plan. I hope you be a part of it. Thank you.